Bonjour everybody, this is the Citroen C3. This is the car from the French manufacturer, hence I started differently for the first time. And this is the very first car that Citroen is making in India entirely. And this is going to be a product which is around the 4 meter category mark. But it also goes against the likes of the cars which are in 3.8 meter segment. Citroen has done a lot of engineering, taken a lot of feedback and done a lot of custom clinics to make sure that their car is India friendly. And there are a lot of things to be said about this car, so as always let's begin with the design. You can see at the front it's a very good looking car with that typical Citroen grille that we are always seen in the international cars, and first we saw in the C5 a year ago. And those are the LED DRLs here as well as here, so there are two, which is great. Those are the halogen lamps which look really impressive. The headlamp cluster seems very nice. The dual parted bumper, it's got sort of a Fox kit plate. It's got a fog lamp housing here. It's a pretty big fog lamp than most manufacturers, and I think that should aid in very good illumination and spread. We can't comment on it right now because we are in Goa getting a first impression of this car in the day. In the night it's only going to be visible when we do a road test back at home. And yes, now that is the side profile. You can see how the C5 inspiration can be seen here in the C3. It looks really nice with this housing here. And this is of course the top end variant. The top end variant also doesn't get alloy wheels, but these are very good looking steel wheels and caps that are on offer with this car. 15-inch wheels, and Citroen is calling it a hatchback, but it also has a very tall stance, so it is still going to be considered as an SUV in India. But we are very happy to see that Citroen is not going and calling it an SUV or anything like that. At the back, again, a very good design, and I really like the way how the boot lid has been done here. It looks really nice. You've got the Pure Tech badging, the Citroen logo, which is quite large, and that's the C3 badging. Very impressive looking tail lamps for a small car, really well done. A lot of detailing, as you can see. Got the detailing part here as well. And again, a really impressive car. You've got the dual tone scheme here with this particular car. You've got black along with grey and orange that is on offer. And the lower half also gets these orange housings here, which look really impressive. There is reversing sensors, not camera, and that's how you open the boot, which is fully packed right now. As you can see, 313 liters of space can accommodate this level of stuff. There can be more stuff also that can be accommodated, and it's a very nice boot to have. Since we are here, let's get into the back now. The boot is really impressive, so is the leg space. This is going to be the highlight for the C3. Very good foot room, very good knee room. Headroom also is good for a taller passenger because the seats are raised quite high. That gives you excellent under thigh support. I think this again is inspired from the C5, where the back seats are really impressive, and the C3 continues with that legacy. You've got these fast charging points here, a bottle holder that you can use. Power windows for the rear seats are here, and that's usually seen in most small cars now. That's the kind of storage you have with these pockets at the back. Seat belts not adjustable, but the seat is fixed headrest, not adjustable ones. And got a grab handle here on this side as well. Door pockets that can hold one bottle and some other stuff on the top as well as here. That is the speaker mounted over there. Overall, a very nice place to be at the back. It's going to be really impressive. The seat incline that it has is also really nice, so I'm not very upright, but I'm not very declined behind as well. So it's a very nice seat to be. This is one of the best places to be in the C3, and the job really well done by Citroen. Let's get into the front now. It's a very good looking interior. At the moment I stepped in the car like this, I was really impressed how it looks like. I told you about the height adjustable seat, that's there. And that's the dashboard. Looks really nice, and that's the USB slot right there. Let's start the car. That's the instrument cluster in the C3, and as you can see, there is speed, distance to empty on offer, and I can toggle it like this with this button via here. 2 trip meters, average fuel efficiency, and yeah, you've got a temperature gauge along with a fuel gauge. There is no tachometer, and as you saw while I started the car, the telltale lights. These are the stocks. They look nice, they operate really well, they feel very high quality. This is the kind of attention to detail there is on this small car here. Both the stocks feel very nice, and the steering is of course adjustable for reach. It's not adjustable for reach, but it's adjustable for rake. Those are the AC controls. This is how you do it for circulation and internal air, and the AC works really well. I think Citroen has taken their inspiration from Tata Motors, where the AC absolutely chills you to the bones, and it is quite hot in Goa right now, and we've been shooting and running around and everything, and the moment we come inside the car, it chills us down quite quickly. So a job well done by Citroen. This is to mount a phone, but this is of course the top end variant, so it gets this fantastic screen. It's a 10-inch unit in a horizontal manner, so this makes it very easy to navigate through maps. Citroen told us that, and once we did it, we also found it really impressive. The touch on this is really impressive. The response is really impressive. We are really impressed with what the Citroen C3 has here. It's a really well done screen. The audio system is also really good, and there is Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, wireless as with this car, with this particular top end variant with this screen. That's impressive. You will also get a mount, like I said, so you can mount your phone here, and then you can go through navigation and others. You can keep some things here. That's the glove box. It's illuminated but not chilled. Even the IRVM is not a day and night one unit, surprisingly. These seats feel really nice, really supportive. And the seat base is also quite long for a small car. Usually I have a complaint with that, not with this particular small car. And some space below the handbrake, and that's the rear part. Cup holders, space here, and some things to be kept here. And yeah, very nice looking, very large vents to make sure that it's throwing a lot of air. This is just on one, as you can see, and it's chilling us quite well. You've got this sort of rubberized effect on the dashboard in orange color, which looks really nice. Everything feels good to feel and touch. The dashboard is mounted very solidly. The build quality feels quite impressive. We are really amazed at how Citroen has gotten the build quality, fit, finish really well. On the inside, it definitely feels very solid, and that's the really impressive part. You've got a very different looking gear lever on this car. It's got that contrast stitching and the aluminum here. So overall, this interior has a lot of feel-good factors. When you immediately get inside the cabin for the first time, you are going to be impressed. When you look around also, you're going to be impressed by seeing how everything has been put together, how the AC works really well, how good the sound system and infotainment system is. Of course, it doesn't have the connectivity features. You don't expect to have it here, because we've been used to, in the Indian market is getting used to nowadays seeing 20 lakh rupee cars coming in with all the features possible. This is a smaller car. It of course has a big screen, but it doesn't have all the features that you need. Even the IRVMs are manually adjusted on this car, and it doesn't have a camera, but it has a sensor, like I told you. And there is a lot of features missing, but a lot of things will be added on with the accessory packs that are on offer. I'll leave the link in the description where we'll explain everything on the website about this. There's no cruise control as well, and you have the mode button for the call, for the sound and the voice controls. That's the steering. Looks really nice, inspired from the C5. Overall, again, really impressed with the interior. I don't know when we were impressed with a small car interior in a very long time. Citroen has just got it right. And of course the features list is a bit scarce, but then the pricing also should be really impressive for this car, and that should make it quite an interesting car. But before we sum up our impression, let's get to the driving part, because we have two engine options to choose from. There's a turbo and there's a naturally aspirated. So let's get on with the driving. So what is the Citroen C3 like to drive? Well, let's discuss the comfort part, because after all it's a Citroen. We know in the C5 the comfort was downright brilliant. This ride quality is exactly the same. This almost drives like a C segment SUV instead of a A plus or a B segment SUV. The ride quality is downright phenomenal. The way it takes bad roads, broken roads is just amazing. Most of it is not transferred inside the cabin. Small, going through small broken roads or potholes are not even felt. So that is something that is going to amaze a lot of people while they test drive this car over a broken road. And we were also really amazed by, after spending almost a day with this car. And that is going to be truly the big highlight for the Citroen C3, because the way it rides is excellent. In fact, the riding dynamics also have not taken a hit. There is body roll, but it's very well in check. It doesn't make you nervous or anything like that. We did push the car quite a lot in the corners. There was minimal understeer, there was controllable body roll, and that is what makes it a very good, fun to drive car in this segment. Of course, I think there are better cars in the segment that drive really well, but the Citroen C3 does not disappoint, that's for sure. In fact, the driving also is better because of the fantastic steering that is on offer. It is it feels vague at very slow speeds, but the moment you get up to 20-30 kilometers an hour, the steering just becomes fantastic. There's a lot of feedback on offer, surprisingly, and it weighs up on the at higher speeds also quite well, and that's what makes the steering really impressive. But the even best part is that it's got a return system, so when you're taking U-turns, the steering will return back to its center position, and that makes life even more convenient. This feature is specifically missing on all its rivals. This is one of the reasons why, this is the second or the third reason why the Citroen is going to impress buyers at first test drive. So that is something that all manufacturers should look at, because this is something of a setting of a benchmark in this segment, because one test drive, all it will take for people to just go ahead and buy this car, because it's that easy to drive. It has really great ride quality. It does not have huge amount of body roll or anything like that. It drives really well. So the Citroen C3 impresses us with its chassis, chassis structure, how the suspension is done. The brakes are also good, and the tires also feel quite impressive. For the first time, we've discussed the riding part, or the chassis part. Now let's get to the engine part. What we drove is a naturally aspirated engine and a turbo engine. So what are the engines? For the first time, we ended up discussing a lot about the chassis because we were really impressed with all three aspects. Let's talk about the turbo petrol and the naturally aspirated. Let me start with the turbo petrol. It is a 1 liter motor that makes 1.2 liter motor that makes 110 PS of power, and power goes through a 6-speed manual gearbox. It has 190 Newton meters of torque. And the engine is of course a 3-cylinder unit that is quite smooth, quite refined. There is a bit of vibration at idle, but that's about it. Most of the time you are not going to feel any of that. The engine noise inside the cabin are also really well insulated. So even if you are redlining, it doesn't it creates a boom inside the cabin. It's still really well controlled, and it's not going to be frustrating or annoying in any way. Even if you're pushing harder, if you're driving normally all the time, you're really going to enjoy the refinement that is on offer with the car. And be it at any speed, road noise does creep in inside the cabin to a certain extent, and that is normal by the segment SUV. And what else we can tell you is that the power and torque is excellent. The driving just becomes so much better with a very good chassis, very good ride quality. If you can go faster over broken roads, and this car feels really nice and really punchy. It does 0 to 100 under 10 seconds. So I think that's fantastic to have those kind of numbers in a car of this size. Citroen has made sure that the performance aspect is not dull with the turbo engine, and they have succeeded at it quite well. And we're really impressed with what the turbo engine can offer. The clutch is also light, the gearbox is also light, and a fuel efficiency of let's say 12 to 14 kilometers is expected in really heavy traffic, but on the highway expected to deliver 17 to 18 kilometers quite easily, because the claim number is 19 kilometers to the liter. So the fuel efficiency part is also really impressive. And now let me tell you the naturally aspirated motor. About that is that it makes 82 bhp. It has 964 curb weight. It's almost 70 kilograms lighter than the turbo motor. Turbo motor petrol equipped car entirely. So what it does is it has very good low end and mid range torque, and surprisingly it pulls on the top end quite as well. It extracts all those 82 bhps and 112 or 13 Newton meters of torque quite well. The 5-speed gearbox is lighter on the naturally aspirated car, and so is the clutch, so driving it is even more easier. Of course the turbo is also really light, but that's the naturally aspirated clutch and gearbox is also quite light. It's even lighter, so that's a great aspect. Again, the Citroen is making sure that comfort is at its peak, and it's visible in the clutch, the steering, the gearbox, and the way it's going over broken roads. The engine should deliver very good fuel efficiency of 13 to 15 kilometers to the liter. On the highway, it can again deliver 17 to 18 kilometers quite easily. So the fuel efficiency part is taken care of. It drives really well. It's got a fantastic infotainment system. It's got a fantastic sound system. It drives over bad roads really well. And that's what you want from a small car. There are a bit of features that are missing, but the moment you start driving, you forget all of that and realize that this car is so easy to drive, it's so comfortable, and it looks really great on the inside and outside. It serves a purpose, and it delivers that extra goodness with its interior and exterior, that you will happily cut out a check for this car, because it is something truly special in this segment. The comfort and the ease of use defines this segment, and Citroen has taken to it all of that to the very next level. It is definitely going to impress you at first test drive. That's what I keep saying again and again in this video. And we can't wait for the prices to come out, whatever they will be. If they are between 7 to 10 lakh rupees, we think this is an absolute winner. It will be great value for money for you if you're looking for a car under the 10 lakh rupee mark for your family or for yourself, because the comfort, the ease of use is definitely going to blow you away at first test drive. I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching our video. Make sure you like it, share it, subscribe to our channel, follow us on our website and social media for everyday updates. Until then, goodbye.